Hello. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are in the world. Glad to be here with you on this Friday. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Wendy. And Elaine. Good evening. Glad to have you. I've been here on Insight Timer as a teacher for 5 years now, and I'm just remembering how 5 years ago I didn't need glasses to see the screen. Life happens. Things happen. Aging happens. Welcome, Kel. So today we will be doing our fun and powerful longest running live stream series where I will be doing a collective card reading for the group. So we will be just looking at the current energies at this time, and I'll be using different decks to do that. And also we'll be closing with a brief Reiki and Ancestral Clearing that I will channel, as well as, the reading is channeled messages from Spirit. I use the cards. To me, they are different, like they're a portal to information, and each deck has its own dialect. So I love tuning into the different messages and energies that each of the different decks have. I have actually ordered a new deck. For those of you that have been with me, you see the decks that I use, which are great, and I love them. And I just got a feeling to order a new one, so it's not here yet, but it's a Lenormand deck, which is a very different language from a traditional tarot or even oracle deck. So stay tuned for when I get that and start using it. So I will be going live. Also, I've got all my lives scheduled for the upcoming month. If you follow me, which I would appreciate, you can do so here at this pop-up, or you can follow anytime, anywhere, wherever I am, and that's appreciated. But if you do follow me here, you'll be notified of my live streams that are upcoming. And the one next will be Sunday morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you are in the world, at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, April 12th. You can see this on the screen as well. The hidden cost of carrying everyone else's expectations. So this is a really powerful topic that we're going to dive into together, because for so many of us, on this spiritual journey, this empath journey, journey of awakening and self-discovery, it's very easy to fall into people-pleasing, enabling, over-giving, over-functioning, and losing yourself. So this live will directly address that. So RSVP if that feels relevant. Also, follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I am double live streaming this right now into my YouTube channel. All my replays are available there. So if you have to leave early today or you can't come Sunday, just know everything's over there. If you want the direct links to where you can find all of that, just send me a message. So please give an emoji in the chat of your current mood, what's alive in you right now as you're coming into this session today, or a word, either a word or an emoji that best describes how you're feeling and how you're arriving into this session today. And yeah, as I said, the format of the live stream will be starting as always with a Michael Singer card. One of my top spiritual teachers that I follow. If you don't know Michael Singer, he is most known for this book, The Untethered Soul. He has also published his memoir, The Surrender Experiment, Living Untethered, and now he has a new book. I don't have a card for that, but it's called Wisdom Untethered. I got these when I went to his Temple of the Universe over a year ago now. So I saw these and I'm like, oh, this is going to be perfect to use in my live streams. Awesome, Elaine, feeling loving. I love that. So we are going to pick from the Michael Singer Untethered Soul quote cards just to open our session today. See what Michael Singer has to say. I think this is the card that we pulled last time, which it's always important and relevant, and if we get like multiple similar messages, it's like really pay attention, really listen. So it says, if you go very deep, that's where you live. You live in the seat of consciousness. A true spiritual being lives there without effort and without intent. So again, if you go very deep, that is where you live. You live in the seat of consciousness. A true spiritual being lives there without effort and without intent. So let's just breathe into that. So, he talks mainly about being able to basically live in the world and not be of the world, and to live from your inner experience, and that our inner experience is more important than anything in the outside world. And multiple teachers teach this. So, this is saying that you live deep in here. You live in the seat of consciousness. What does that even mean? What is the seat of consciousness? Does anybody not have a grasp of what that is? And not only like an intellectual grasp, but an experiential experience of what living in the seat of consciousness means. Because if that's just words, and if it's vague, and if it doesn't land, then it's not going to really be useful. Hey Jacqueline. Hi Inga, you're listening to Surrender Experiment now. It's an amazing memoir. I would recommend that memoir to anybody. And, basically he talks about his life experience of living from the seat of consciousness and working with, the ego, working with the small self, working with the human part of ourselves, and living from that more infinite place, that seat of consciousness. So we're going to look at Sacred Rebels next to deepen into this message. Sacred Rebels is a beautiful deck that I got almost 10 years ago for my birthday. I'll always remember. My friend gave this to me on my 40th birthday. This year, in a few months, I will be 50, which is crazy to consider for me. Isn't that how all birthdays are, like all milestone birthdays? So let's see what Spirit has to say. And if you're just joining in, this is a collective reading, so trust you're arriving at the right time, or if you're seeing the replay in YouTube, trust that you're seeing this exactly when you need to and the messages will be relevant. And I don't know if I introduced myself. I am a spiritual life coach, Reiki master teacher. I do these sorts of readings one-on-one as well as Reiki and Ancestral Clearing, my signature energy healing session. So if you want a personalized one-on-one session, reach out. That's a service that I offer. I also offer as a gift to the Insight Timer community at no cost my powerful coaching process that I call the visioning process. So if you feel stuck in any area of your life right now and you just don't know, how to move forward, or you've been stuck in a pattern a long time, we will go deep into that and then look at where do you want to be and what's in the way. So it's a very clarifying and powerful process. So if that resonates with you, send me a private message. And as I said, it's a gift if you are a member of the community and you haven't received a gifted session with me before. So spots are limited with that. So if you feel the call, reach out. So we have this card here. I'm just feeling into the energy. So it says, relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. Relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. So just look at this image and tune into this and notice what comes up for you with the words and with the image here. Relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. And you can see this figure is surrounded by light, looking up into the light, and surrounding her is like a dark forest. And she's naked, so she's vulnerable, she's innocent, she's unguarded, she's unarmored. So what's coming up for me in regards to the collective reading for everybody here, and again, it's collective, so take what you like and leave the rest. The hold of darkness, what could that be? Now again, you're going to think of something specific for you. Where do you feel held by darkness right now? I think for many of you, it's going to be your thought patterns, your destructive habits, the things you might be addicted to, or the things you distract yourself with. It can also be limiting beliefs. It can be thought patterns and paradigms that were instilled in you when you were young. The hold of darkness could be your negative self-belief, It could be toxic shame. So this is something we've been talking about a lot. This book, Healing the Shame That Binds You. I've been bringing this message into my live stream. So you might have shame. Shame might be that darkness. We can think of it as the shadow. So what part of your shadow are you holding on to? Are you believing? Where are you playing small? Where are you believing untruths about yourself? Maybe you're not feeling like you're not lovable, or you can't do this, or you're not enough, or I'm always like this, or I'm never like that, or I should or shouldn't be or do this or that. So all of those sorts of patterns could be what this hold of darkness is for you, because it says relax that hold and be at cause. At cause means empowered. Where are you giving your power away to these limiting mindsets and energies? Be at cause. You are the creator. You are responsible for your life and your decisions. You are the creator of your thoughts, so you can change your thought patterns. We're not responsible for our first thought, because that just comes. What we are responsible for is the second thought and anything after. And all of you here are at a place in your journey where you are fully capable of being very aware of that. You are awakening. So you get to basically take your power back. And you get to tune into your own light. And you get to connect with Source, higher power, universe, God, whatever that is for you, and co-create, this beautiful light. You have it within you, and you get to access that. Hi, Gemini Jenny. I'm also a Gemini. Woohoo! Our season's coming up. So, there you go. Now we're going to draw from the Work Your Light deck. Another oracle deck that gives powerful guidance and advice and messages as well. So, if this is resonating with you, share in the comments what is coming up. What is this darkness? What are these thought systems that you're listening to? The hold of darkness might be staying in a toxic dynamic, or staying in your comfort zone even when it's killing you. We got this card recently. Don't dim to fit in. And it's funny because look at this light. So this is a very clear message. Don't dim yourself to fit in. You can see the darkness around here. Relax the hold of darkness. These are both cards talking about darkness and light. Isn't that interesting? So the question on the card is, how are you dimming your light in order to fit in? How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? This is saying stop doing this. And I feel like this is mainly about your self-perception and who you believe yourself to be, because that drives everything. Our judgments, our perceptions, our beliefs about ourselves. So if you believe you're a person that always or never does this or that, then you'll live into that. But that's not the truth of who you are if it's something that doesn't serve you, because we are powerful, infinite beings and creators. So, you didn't come here to fit in. You came here to shine. You came here to be a beacon for others. And it doesn't matter, you don't have to be fully evolved in order to show your light to the world. We are flawed, imperfect, shadow and light beings, with all of this human and spirit. So some of you believe like, well, I could never do that because I still, do this or that. It's like, no, however flawed you believe yourself to be, you still can shine and shine for others. And actually, in that humanness and humanity is your strength. People can relate more to people who are flawed and make mistakes and share that, rather than, I've got my shit together and I've overcome all this and now everything's perfect. People don't want that as an example. They want the humanity because that's what we can relate to. Like for me, I'm very open about my sobriety journey, my addiction journey, being clean and sober a long time, being free from sugar addiction for many years as well, relationship struggles that I still continue to have. That's what people can relate and identify to. So you don't have to be perfect. And that might be part of this darkness, the shadow that you're identifying with. As a life coach, I sometimes work with other life coaches who are building their businesses or wanting to. And I hear this often where they're like, oh, but I'm not ready yet because I still, am working on myself, or I still have this or that habit. It's like, no. You get to help even with your still being on your journey. So now we're going to get some deeper clarification with our favorite Light Seers Tarot. Here we go. I'm going to take these cards. We've got a story coming out in these cards. I'm going to take all of them. Yeah, I love it when this happens. So first we have this Nine of Swords, which we've also seen this recently. So if you look at this image on this card, you can see this person with their head in their hands. They're really sad, upset, stressed, broken, feeling like they have the weight of the world on their shoulders. So you might relate to any of those descriptors. You can see there's a pillow next to her because in the original tarot, this person's in bed. But yeah, you might feel really alone in your struggle right now. And it might even be waking you up at night. And you might be stressed when you wake up at night. So how many of you can relate to this image? And this could be too like this hold of darkness. You might be in fear. You might be clinging to fear. You might be losing yourself in fear and forgetting reality, the reality of you are light. You are love and light. There is only that. Anything else is an illusion. You might have forgotten your connection to Source. So this message It's going to be repeated. Relax the hold of darkness. Relax the hold of fear. Be at cause. Fear paralyzes us. So some of you might feel paralyzed. Shannon, Jacqueline can relate. I can too. Actually, I woke up with a splitting headache in the middle of the night. I didn't sleep well. You know, thoughts and stories running. So this reading is too really about remembering the truth of who you are. And don't dim yourself. Because underneath that is this. This is you. This is your truth. Look, this is like opposites here. And really what I'm seeing in this for you is, are you being consumed by fear? In the potential on the other side it's right next to it is this being centered in love and not fear. Coming back into the truth of who you are, coming back into your power, remembering your connection to source. This is really a big part of this message. This is the Hierophant card. This is a card of spirituality, of connection. And look at the bliss. It's like, I've never had these two cards together like this, and they're so perfectly opposites. Consumed by fear and self. And it's like, where is God in this? Where is source? It's like being lost. And you don't want to judge or blame yourself for it, but just acknowledge that's what's happening. And there's this potential right here, just as close as your next breath. Oh, interesting, Jenny. Maybe it's a Gemini thing. That this is right here for you. And what's needed to bridge this gap is this Ace of Swords. Swords energy is thinking, is air, is intellect. It's air signs even, but it doesn't have to be. And aces are new beginnings and new potential and new possibility. So you have within yourself the power of your own mind to bridge this gap and make this shift from fear to love with your own thoughts. And again, connection to source. Look at this light going up. And it's a spiral staircase in the mind going up. You're the only one in your mind with your thoughts. Nobody can come in there and change what you're thinking except you. That is your free will choice. We were given free will. So these messages all fit in together. I'm going to look up this Hierophant card in the Light Seers Tarot. Because it's always got, they have affirmations that are really good. And I want to give this affirmation to you from this card. So the affirmation is, I am my own guru, and my highest guidance is rooted in faith. I am my own guru, and my highest guidance is rooted in faith. Again, same message as here. Be at cause. You are a powerful creator. You've forgotten this in here, which is not anything to blame or shame yourself for. It's human. We do that. But you get to remember, you're your own guru. You're the only one that can pull yourself out of this by the power of your own mind. My highest guidance is rooted in faith. Where is your faith right now? You know, again, faith versus fear, love versus fear. Some of you really get to work on cultivating an experiential relationship with a power greater than yourself. Not just a concept, but an actual experience, because you need this experience of this remembrance of the truth of who you are. So the meanings generally in this card are powerful lessons, a spiritual leader or guide, a time to have faith, enlightenment, awakening in service of spirit, finding your own path, an awakened soul, transformation and transcendence, new paradigms. So it all fits in with exactly what this reading's all about. As I said, that hold of darkness from this card is, you know, the comfort zone, the limiting beliefs, the way you believe yourself to be, not being in possibility. You are made of God's stuff, fashioned with the same forces of creation that inspired the stars. As a seeker, you hold the power to vibrate with a little more light as you ascend upwards, up towards the one cosmic love that shines down and illuminates the path for us all. So again, it's about you remembering your power. This is about awakening. If you've been stuck in an old system or a structured way of acting or being, it's time to let that fall away in order to make space for a better version of you. Be open to new paradigms, perspectives, mentors, or teachers coming into your life at this time. Look to the repeating patterns around you and strive to understand your own internal compass. So it all fits together here. So if you want a copy of these cards or the link to where you can read about them, send me a message. I can get that to you. If you want guidance on going from this shadow to the light, everything that's keeping you in this, as I said, I offer that gifted visioning process for those in the Insight Timer community. So take advantage of that if you haven't done so before, and follow that intuition to reach out if you feel the heart's call. And we will look at this is the journey. We'll look at where you are, what is keeping you here, where you want to be, what you need to do to bridge that gap. Hi, Drazel. The Ace of Swords. Is that the card you mean, the third card? So we have the Nine of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Ace of Swords. And then we have Don't Dim to Fit In. And then Relax the Hold of Darkness and Be at Cause. And I'm going to read the Michael Singer card again, because now we're like circled back around and we can tie it back to this, and it all makes sense. If you go very deep, that's where you live. You live in the seat of consciousness. That seat is this light, is this truth of who you are, is this Hierophant energy. A true spiritual being lives there without effort and without intent. So we're going to close our eyes now and go into the energy healing part of the session. So you can go ahead and do that with me. You know, there's lots of energy shifting and moving throughout this reading. And I just invite you now to drop in with me and close your eyes. And just tune into the images on the cards, the energies that have come up for you, the concepts, the life experiences or situations. And just ground into your breath, into your body. As I activate Reiki and Silvana energies for healing and transformation, just allow these energies to be drawn in by your higher self. And just bathe in these beautiful energies as you receive, and allow yourself to receive. Allow the darkness to be transmuted to light. Allow these limited thought patterns, these old neural pathways in the brain to be repurposed and reworn, and to create new pathways that will create new thoughts, that will create new beliefs, that will create new perceptions, that will create new habits, that will create new actions, that will create new results and new beliefs about yourself. This is powerful medicine. And you don't have to perform, you don't have to try, you don't have to do. You just get to relax and receive. Breathe deeply. Just notice your body as this powerful energy, healing and ancestral clearing moves in through and around you. You can slowly move the body and open your eyes. And welcome back, and notice what shifted for you and what came up for you in the healing and clearing. I did a lot of clearing around all of the dynamics that came up in the reading. So you will start to notice a shift. And I appreciate all of your presence today, everyone who's joined in. If this has been helpful for you, you can give a donation here on the screen, or there's other ways to do that, not just in this moment if you feel called. Don't forget to follow me here on Insight Timer, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. All my replays are there. I also have an Etsy shop that I've recently opened. I would love your support in that. It is a toxic relationship healing shop where I sell digital downloads that you can instantly access and use to help you break toxic patterns in relationships. It's called Heartbreak Recovery Co. So you can search that, or if you want the link, send me a message. And everything is very reasonably priced, around $5 right now. So I would love your purchase and review if you feel called. Thank you, Drazel, Elaine, you're welcome. And also too, if you feel called to reach out for my powerful visioning process that we will do one-on-one. And anything that's come up, especially today, it's been very clear, with these cards, the dynamics that are at play for you right now. And so we would look at, what is this for you? What is this for you? And then what is this? So I have limited spaces open for that, so send me a message. Thank you, Gemini Jenny. And if you follow me here, you'll be notified of my upcoming live streams. I have many scheduled. And next one being on Sunday. You're welcome, Wendy. Thank you as always for your presence, and everyone here. If it's your first time or 100th or more, you're welcome, Jacqueline. I will see you all very soon. Wonderful, Drazel, and me as well. Sending you all lots of loving and light today and this weekend. Make the most of it. Make the most of every moment. I will see you all soon. Namaste and bye-bye.